My name is Dr. Stephen Oladoyinbo. I'm the youth tutor for FIN233, Introduction to Finance, of Distance Learning Institute, University of Lagos. Introduction to Finance. And to take the course right away, we'll start with the Introduction of Finance. Finance is the first course in financial management, an essential part of your education in management. Finance can be defined as an aspect of economics that deals with management of money. The Nigerian financial system, that's the focus in this section 1, which we are trying to look at. Money plays two important roles in the economic system: first, as a medium of exchange, and second, as a store of wealth. Money provides the foundation for a financial system. There are various financial institutions in the economy with specific function allotted to them by the law or acts that establish them, and the function performed by this institution represent their regulatory environment or their regulatory boundary. In this session, you will learn the whole spectrum of the regulatory framework, financial institution, financial markets, financial instruments, other actors and participants between them, including the overall financial intermediation process between them. Learning outcome for this study session. At the end of this session, you'll be able to define the concepts and financial system, institutions, and regulatory environment. 2, discuss the various components of the financial system and illustrate graphically the structure of the Nigerian financial system. 3, discuss the nature of the financial system and financial market. Discuss the operators in some of the institutions. 4, discuss fully financial assets or securities and instruments. And 5, distinguish between direct and indirect finance. General definition of the financial system. The financial system may be defined as the network of institutions, market, instruments, savers, and borrowers that constitute the money economy. The most basic function of the financial system is to facilitate the flow of payments in the economy between the surplus economic units and the deficit economic units. The structure of the financial system is being displayed graphically. We'll discuss it one by one as we continue right away. Components of the financial system. There are 5 broad components of the financial system, namely regulatory institutions, 2, operating institutions, that is financial institutions and intermediaries, 3, financial markets, 4, financial securities, and 5, savers or surplus spenders and borrowers of deficit spenders. Regulatory institutions. At the apex of the financial system are the regulatory institutions who are responsible for the orderly and effective operations of the financial system. There are 2 forms of regulation, such as prudential regulations and economic regulations. The objectives of prudential regulation is to ensure that the financial institutions are able to honor their commitment to their customers. That people who have access to relevant and accurate information before they enter into financial contract, and that dealings in security is fair to all concerned. Economic regulation, on the other hand, is undertaken through the instrumentality of monetary and fiscal policies to promote economic management and to guard against monopolistic tendencies in the financial system. Regulatory institution. An institution is any structure or mechanism or social order governing the behavior or a set of individual or corporate body in order to achieve a particular aim or to ensure compliance with a given norms. Regulatory environment, on the other hand, consists of laws and regulations that have been developed by the federal, state, or local government in order to ensure compliance with rules and subject institution to control of a body of rules. From the foregoing, institution and regulatory environment means institution and their function as provided by the law or act that establish each of the institution. The regulatory framework. The concept of regulatory framework cover, among others, the following: a Company and Allied Matters Act 2004. This law covers the establishment, operational activities, and winding up of corporate entities. This is provided for under Section 7 of the Act. The provision of the Act cover both private and public limited, hence the banks, which must be public limited liability company by the provision of BOFA. Its activities is subjected to this Act. Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act, BOFA, 2004. The Act covers mainly the activities of financial institutions, which could either be banking financial institution and non-bank financial institution. Other regulations are insurance law, financial policies, various statutes, and promulgation as long as it is related to financial issues. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. The evolution of Securities and Exchange Commission could be traced to 1962 when the Capital Issue Committee, CIC, was established. The CIC was an ad hoc body that assembled only when the need arose. Moreover, the committee handled or issued between 1962 to 1975, going by the relevance and increased activities of CIC by the decree 1973 was promulgated for its creation and to provide for a supervisory authority for the Nigeria capital market. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, was established in 1979 and its scope was expanded in 1988 decree. Functions of Securities and Exchange Commission, among others: 1. To determine the time and amount of which securities are to be sold to the public either through offer for sale or subscription. 2. Register all securities proposed to be offered for sale or subscription by the public. And the third one, to maintain surveillance over the security market and ensure orderly, fair, and equitable dealings in securities. The Second-Tier Security Market, SSM. It is the market which came into existence in 1985. It was established for the purpose of serving the need of small and medium-scale industry, which require long-term financing, but are able to meet the stringent requirement for quotation on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the first-tier market. Issuing houses. An issue house is currently the corporate finance department of a merchant bank or a stockbroking firm that arranges the issuance and sale of security on behalf of another company or government agencies. Function of issuing houses. It advises its clients as to the optimum capital structure and the most suitable form of sourcing capital and the terms of the issue. 2. It prepares the issue documents. And the third one, it helps to file application to the Nigerian Stock Exchange if need be in price of interest rate determination. The Central Security Clearing System, CSCS. It was incorporated as a subsidiary of the Nigerian Stock Exchange in 1977, function of CSCS Limited. It helps to safeguard the certificate of quoted securities. It helps to maintain register of shareholders. It serves as a clearing and custodian agency for local and foreign instruments. It issues central security identification numbers to stockholders. Operating institutions. Operating institution is an intermediary that mobilizes funds from the surplus of the economy to the deficit of the economy. This could basically be divided or classified into two. These are bank financial institution and non-bank financial institution. Non-bank financial institution. This is component of financial system in Nigeria. It covers the following: commercial banks, merchant banks, development banks, and specialized banks. Non-bank financial intermediary and/or institutions. The Nigeria Stock Exchange (NSE), the Secondary Security Market (SSM), issuing houses, the Central Security Clearing System (CSCS), and International Stock Exchange. The evolution of Nigeria Stock Exchange (NSE). Nigeria Stock Exchange, with operating branches in Lagos, Kaduna, Ibadan, Onitsha, Kano, and Port Harcourt, was registered on September 15, 1960 at the Lagos Stock Exchange on the initiative of private sector individuals and instruction. Functions of Nigeria Stock Exchange: among others, it provides facilities for trading to buyers and sellers of new and existing securities like shares, stocks, and debentures by acting as a meeting point. It facilitates the channeling of long-term funds to commerce and industry in the country, and it provides investment outlets to individual and corporate bodies with surplus investment funds. Operators in the stock market. There are various operators in the stock market based on their interests and their regulatory restrictions. The following are some of the operators in the institution of the stock market: stockbrokers, and financial market. Organized financial market provide alternative and complementary mechanism to financial institutions and intermediaries for meeting the needs of savers and borrowers. Financial assets. These are the products traded in the financial asset through which the financial institution meet the variety of conflicting needs of savers and borrowers, either for safe custody, yield, and investment capital. The terms financial asset, financial security, financial instrument, and financial product can therefore be used synonymously. Financial instrument: short-term debt instrument, long-term debt instrument, and the classification of long-term debt instruments. Debt securities. Debt securities are negotiable financial instruments serving as evidence of a debt, and it is government securities, government bond, government bills, central bank bonds, corporate bond issued by industrial entities, local government, or commercial banks, mortgage bonds, and certificates of deposit. The security normally specify a schedule for interest payment and principal repayment. Example of debt securities are bills, bankers' acceptances, commercial paper, negotiable certificate of deposit, bond and debentures, including bonds that are convertible into shares, loans that have become negotiable from one holder to another, similar instruments normally traded in the financial markets. The classification of long-term debt instruments. They are bond, loans, non-participating preferred stocks or share, striped securities, a mortgage bond, asset-backed securities, and collateralized obligations, and of course savers and borrowers, surplus and deficit economic unit bracket. The most important components of the financial system are the savers and the borrowers, referred to as the ultimate users of the system. The nature of the financial system. The nature of financial system can be illustrated by considering the economy composed of the following economic units: household, business firms, and governments, local, state, and federal. Direct finance. Direct finance occurs when the deficit unit and the surplus unit exchange money and IOU directly. Indirect finance. Indirect finance involves the introduction of a financial intermediary between the surplus unit and the deficit unit. The intermediary assumes the risk of the deficit unit and relaxes the requirement of a successful transfer of funds between surplus and deficit. Summary: the financial system is relevant only in an economy in which economic units have surplus or deficit budget. There are four basic components of financial system comprising regulatory institutions, operating institutions, financial markets, and financial instruments, savers and borrowers. You have learned that legal framework is peculiar to the nature of composition of the business. For instance, corporate entities are governments. By the Company and Allied Matters Act of 2004 and the Provision of Bank and Other Financial Institutions Act, BOFIA. Self-assessment question. We have learned that as medium of exchange and store of value, money provides the foundation for financial system. 2. SSM was established for the purpose of serving the need of small and medium scale industry, which require long-term financing but unable to meet the stringent requirement for quotation on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. 3. Mobilizing savings, facilitating investment, and transforming maturity are the functions of financial investment. 4. Savers and borrowers are referred to as the ultimate users of financial system. 5. There are two types of financial system regulation, namely economic regulation and prudential regulation. 6. The financial system is not relevant in an economy where there is balanced budget. Balanced budget. And the last but not the least, which is 7th, a bank established mainly to give short-term loan and accept deposit from members of public commercial bank. Thank you very much. We will continue in the next class when we look at the scope and methodology in finance. Goodbye.